Welcome to Zentangle Project Pack 2, the 9th day of the 12 days of Zentangle. This is Rick.
Hi, I'm Maria, and today I'm going to work with the Micron PN, the white Jelly Roll '08, the white chalk pencil, and the Zentangle pencil. And we're going to work on a combination of a tan bijou and a black bijou. So we're going to put these bijoux both facing forward, okay? And we're going to hold them tight with my left hand. I'm going to hold it tight, and with a pair of scissors, I'm going to cut through both of them at the same time in some wiggly design across the diagonal. Almost looks like a corner, like a paper corner or something. So then we're going to add black to tan and black to tan, and we're going to make a new tile, which they perfectly match up. Isn't that cool? How easy is that? We're going to go on the back, put them together nice, and with a piece of tape, like adhesive scotch tape, we're just going to put them together. And then with my scissors, I'm going to kind of rub the tape in really good, just so it gets into the cracks and everything. Pick it up, and then we'll trim it off. And now we have a new tile to work with. We actually have two new tiles to work with, right?
This is very fun.
And pretty easy. I mean, you watched me do the whole thing in a matter of just a minute. Cool. So what I decided we would do here is we're going to, whatever I do on the tan, I'm going to do on the black. So I'm going to be going back and forth with the Micron PN and the white jelly roll. Or froll.
Cool.
So here I'm auraing the edges just to kind of make them look like they're supposed to be like this.
And this is a great effect on this tile because it really plays and embraces the meeting of those two colors. It really enhances it. And you can tell Maria's just like allowing the ink to come out on the white pen. You don't need a lot of pressure. In fact, pressure will restrict the flow.
You just really tickle the paper with these pens. The lighter they go, the better the ink flows, like Rick says. So on the black and the tan, we go back and forth and do these fun shapes and lines. So I think we're going to do the beginning of
this is Molygon.
Molygon.
And there's a great newsletter, if you go on the archive newsletters, to describe the origin and the step out for Molygon.
It was a great story. I hope you take the time to see it.
And again, I keep mentioning this, but it's worth it. Notice the space between the Molygons is echoing the aura space as well. So there's that nice inner symmetry.
So when I do the aura around the first shape, I want to watch when we do it on the white.
And she's not totally filling up the side.
Okay, so we'll put it down one Molygon. And the way to make this really pretty easy is that you aura like a little bit more than halfway down. So watch this. Aura, watching it, and go about halfway, a little bit more than halfway, and then bounce back. And this will give you this sequence. That's really the key.
And you can fit these in by adjusting the size and the angle, and it's a very malleable tangle. So here Maria's going back in and adding some...
just something simple, really simple.
Increasing perfs, but again, in a perk sort of way, they're nestled behind each other. So it's a sort of a Hollibaugh-esque perking and filling in those little extra spaces there.
But knowing you guys and all the great things that you've come up with so far, you can fill these with all kinds of patterns and wonderful things. I'm doing a real basic one just to get the hang of it. And it's funny how those the lines that make up Molygon sort of disappear when you fill them like this.
And I don't know if you just caught that, but Maria, I love that she will sometimes do her circles clockwise and then sometimes counterclockwise.
I didn't even notice
Yeah.
that.
Okay, so there we go with all the filled in Molygons.
So we're going to put a kind of an interesting little aura here with a little bump out, just a little, give it a detail, bump out where they come together. Sometimes a detail like that just is just enough to make people question what it is.
Sort of like there's this energy coming out where the auras come together there, and you just got to accommodate it.
So now I'm doing this really simple thing. I'm putting 3 little dots together to form like a triangle. And this is something I saw often in Renaissance manuscripts and things and backgrounds, simple backgrounds. And what you do is first you put your groups of 3 in sort of an even balanced sort of spacing. Put those in to kind of look like clovers or something.
And the jelly ink comes out really beautifully if you just like, it'll pool in those little dots there.
So now after you get the triples in there, then you go in and put singles just to balance out that even feel of the pattern. So if we start with the 3s, and it's such a delicate, lovely, almost like a lace pattern. It's really and easy to teach, easy to do, and it has a nice look to it. I've used this often in my illuminated letters.
Has a nice constellation effect, like a looking up at the sky.
So you can see going back in and adding the single dots there for balance.
So each side mirrors the other, but not exactly. It's in the sense of, okay, this tangle and this approach, but we're just going for a
Approximately.
relaxed
Yeah.
symmetry.
I like that. Relaxed
Right?
symmetry. I'm going to use that. I'm going to steal that away from
Okay.
you.
Go for it.
So here, just to give it some character, we're going to gray up the background.
So I got to interrupt. Watch how sort of like it interrupts that sense of the dots, and then remember that because pretty soon she's going to go back in with the tortillon, and watch how it smooths that out, and you can then see the firmament reappear sort of with that like misty background.
So it's a nice technique. I like that. See, they reappear. Look at that. How cool is that? See how I go back and forth, and it takes me a few strokes to get that just the way I want. You use your pencil like a magic wand, adding love to your drawings. It's just such a nice feel. And I'm going to do that background and the same on this side. And you see, I'm not going too hard. Putting the graphite down here, it's gonna color it nice and easily. Maybe put a little shade.
And particularly by not doing it really heavy the first time, you have that opportunity to, show different gradations to really pop that other part forward.
Here we go.
Neat.
Cute.
That's
Little
pretty
bijou.
good.
I
A
don't. We don't
little-
have
yeah.
really a name for this technique of the tan and black together, but it's pretty cool.
Here's another one.
These look like the backs of playing cards. You know how they find a pattern
Right.
and do it in the black and white. How cool is that? And Molly did that one on the right at the bottom right.
So it makes a really nice mosaic opportunity. So I had seen them laid out in this way. So I brought them back and did this next little shot where let's just play around with, okay, that's the way they were. So let's move these so we have this like inner tan square with those black corners. And then we can do the reverse and make the tan corners on the outside and the black square on the inside. So that's some pretty neat little compositions you can play with there.
They would be pretty framed in one frame.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this, Rick.
So this is one of the ones that I did, and you'll notice there's a little bit of gold there. But once the white ink is dried, the jelly roll had such a thickness to it that I wanted to go back in and really play with the idea of making those membranes between the elements really, really thin. So I just sort of went back in, and you can see how thin you can make it, much thinner than the pen stroke could be. So that's just a little technique there.
Very cool. I love it.
And pairing these together, sort of neat. So there you go. We look forward, as always, to seeing what you post and reading your comments. And wow, day 9.
Oh my God, it's really kind of escaping.
So we will see you tomorrow, and thank you all so much for spending this time with us and putting pen to paper. Bye.
Bye.